right now, in this very moment. Your life is either moving forward or falling apart. There is no middle ground. And if you're watching this, you already know which one it is. You've tried everything, the motivation, the goal setting, the positive thinking, and yet here you are, still stuck, still struggling, still watching your potential rot away while others somehow figured out. But what if I told you the problem isn't your circumstances? It's not your past. It's not even bad luck. The problem is your mind. And today, that changes. Let me tell you something that nobody wants to hear, but everybody needs to understand. Your life isn't broken because of what happened to you. Your life is broken because of how you responded to what happened to you. Two people lose their jobs on the same day. One spirals into depression, blames everyone, drowns in self-pity. The other wakes up the next morning, sharpens their resume, learns new skills, and builds something better. Same event, completely different lives. Why? Because one understood something the other didn't. That your power doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from controlling your response to life. The ancient Stoics, men who faced wars, plagues, betrayals, political because they discovered something profound. Something that modern self-help gurus keep dancing around but never truly grasp. They discovered that freedom doesn't come from changing your external world. Freedom comes from mastering your internal one. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, commanding armies, governing empires, he still woke up every day and reminded himself of one brutal truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you'll find strength. Think about that for a moment. The Emperor of Rome, with unlimited wealth and power, still needed to train his mind daily. If he needed that discipline, what makes you think you don't? See, most people are walking through life like emotional puppets. Someone cuts them off in traffic. Their whole day is ruined. Their boss gives them criticism. They spiral for weeks. Someone doesn't text back. Suddenly, they're questioning their entire worth. This is not strength. This is slavery. Slavery to circumstances. Slavery to other people's opinions. Slavery to your own untrained reactions. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment you understand that your mind is a battlefield, everything shifts. Because if your mind is a problem, then your mind is also the solution. You don't need a better job to be happy. You need a better mindset about your current situation. You don't need different people in your life. You need to stop giving them power over your peace. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need to train yourself to respond powerfully to imperfect ones. This is what the Stoics mastered. And this is what we're going to break down today. Not soft advice. Not feel-good platitudes, not temporary motivation that fades by tomorrow. We're going deep into the brutal, unfiltered truths that will force you to look at yourself honestly. And if you can't handle that, if you're looking for someone to tell you it's not your fault, then this isn't for you. But if you're ready to take full responsibility, if you're ready to stop being a victim, if you're ready to fix your mind so you can finally fix your life, then stay with me. Because what you're about to learn will change everything. Let's start with the first brutal truth. You negotiate with your weakness every single day, and it's destroying you. Every time your alarm goes off and you hit snooze, you're negotiating. Every time you say you'll start your diet tomorrow, you're negotiating. Every time you tell yourself just one more scroll through social media, just one more episode, just one more conversation with that person who drains you, you're making a deal with the weakest version of yourself. And here's what you need to understand. Every single time you negotiate with weakness, weakness wins. And when weakness wins enough times, it doesn't just become a habit, it becomes your identity. Marcus Aurelius taught that you must build your life action by action, not someday, not when you feel ready. Action by action right now. Because a strong version of you, the disciplined, focused, unstoppable version, isn't hiding somewhere waiting to emerge. It's being suffocated under years of comfort, excuses, and emotional indulgence. You cannot become that person if you keep folding every time life gets uncomfortable. Think about your daily choices. When discomfort arrives, do you face it or flee from it? When temptation whispers, do you hold your ground or do you crumble? When your mind offers you the easy path, Do you take it, or do you choose a path that builds character? The Stoics didn't seek comfort. They trained for adversity. They knew that every moment of resistance, every temptation denied, every hard choice made, was a small victory for the soul. And enough small victories create an unbreakable life. So here's what you need to do. Stop making deals with a version of yourself you're trying to leave behind. When you want to quit, don't negotiate. Just keep moving. When you want to indulge, don't rationalize. Just hold the line. When weakness shows up with its comfortable lies, you don't debate with it. You shut it down immediately. Because every time you do this, you're not just changing a behavior. You're changing your identity. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. And that proof, accumulated over days and weeks and months, that's what transforms a life. Now, let's talk about something that's probably controlling you right now, without you even realizing it. Your reactions. Most people think they're free, but watch how quickly their peace gets hijacked by tiny external events. Someone says something rude. Their whole day is destroyed. Traffic is heavy. Suddenly they're filled with rage. A text doesn't come. Anxiety floods in. They're not living their life. They're reacting to life. And there's a massive difference. Epictetus, who went from being a slave to becoming one of history's greatest philosophers, he understood this perfectly. He taught that it's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Let that sink in. It's not the insult that hurts you. It's your belief about what that insult means. It's not the failure that breaks you. It's the story you tell yourself about what that failure says about your worth. Two people experience the same rejection. One shrugs it off and keeps moving. The other carries it like a wound for months. Same event, entirely different internal experiences. Why? Because one person reacted automatically. The other responded with control. This is a skill that will change your entire life if you master it. Learning to pause between stimulus and response. Someone pushes your buttons. Instead of exploding, you pause. You breathe. You ask yourself, what part of this do I actually control? And the answer is almost always only my response, not their behavior, not the situation, just how I choose to handle it. And in that tiny gap between what happens and how you respond, that's where your power lives. Start practicing this immediately. The next time something triggers you, and it will happen soon, notice the emotion rising. Name it. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling fear. I'm feeling insecurity. But here's the key. Don't become it. You're not an angry person. You're experiencing anger. You're not an anxious person. You're experiencing anxiety. There's a massive difference. One makes you a slave to the feeling. The other makes you the observer of it. And the observer has choice. The observer has power. The Stoics train this constantly. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. He knew that external circumstances would always be unpredictable. But his response? That was his domain. That was his kingdom. And he protected it fiercely. This is what you must do. Stop giving your peace away to random people and random events. Your emotional state is not up for auction. It's yours to guard. And when you finally understand this, when you finally take full ownership of your reactions, you become dangerous in the best possible way. Why? Because you can't be manipulated. You can't be broken by criticism. You can't be controlled by circumstances. You remain steady while others fall apart. And that steadiness, that's real power. Let me tell you something else that's absolutely critical. You already know what you need to do to change your life. You know you need to wake up earlier. You know you need to stop wasting time. You know you need to exercise, to learn, to cut out toxic people, to speak up, to take action. You know all of this. So why aren't you doing it? Because knowing and doing are separated by one thing: discomfort. And most people will do anything to avoid discomfort. But here's the brutal truth. If your actions are always tied to your emotions, if you only do things when you feel like it, you will never build anything meaningful. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't wait for motivation. They didn't wait to feel ready. They simply did what needed to be done, regardless of how they felt. This is discipline. And discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Seneca said something powerful. He said we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about how many battles you've already lost in your mind before you even tried. How many times have you talked yourself out of something, not because it was impossible, but because it was uncomfortable? How many opportunities have you let pass, not because you couldn't do it, but because you were afraid of how it would feel? This is a trap. Waiting for perfect conditions, waiting to feel confident, waiting for motivation to strike. But motivation is emotional. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline is a decision, and it shows up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. So stop waiting to feel ready. You will never feel completely ready. There will always be a reason to delay. There will always be fear. There will always be doubt. But here's what the Stoics knew. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action despite the fear. It's doing the hard thing when every part you wants to quit. It's showing up on the days when you feel weakest, because those days, those are the ones that build unbreakable character. Every time you do something difficult when you don't feel like it, you're not just accomplishing a task. You're rewiring your brain. You're proving to yourself that your feelings don't control you, that you're capable of more than you thought. And that evidence, that accumulated proof of your own strength, that's what creates lasting transformation. So embrace the discomfort. Stop running from it. Start running toward it. Because on the other side of every difficult moment, there's a stronger version of you waiting to emerge. Now let's address something that's quietly destroying your potential. Distraction. We live in the most distracted era in human history. Your phone buzzes every few minutes. Notifications flood in constantly. Social media algorithms are designed to keep you scrolling endlessly. News headlines scream for your attention. And meanwhile, your life, your real life, is slipping away. The Stoics were obsessed with focus, not because they were boring, but because they understood something profound. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, your life grows. Seneca warned that if you are everywhere, you are nowhere. Think about your daily life. How much of your time is spent in deep, focused, intentional work? And how much is wasted on meaningless scrolling, pointless arguments online, consuming content that adds nothing to your life? Marcus Aurelius wrote that you must concentrate every minute like a Roman on doing what in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, not multitasking, not half-present, fully engaged, completely focused. This is where most people lose the game. They think they can build something great while being constantly distracted. They think they can master their craft while checking their phone every 5 minutes. They think they can achieve clarity while drowning in digital noise. It doesn't work that way. Your attention is your most valuable resource, more valuable than time, more valuable than money, because you can have all the time in the world, but if your attention is scattered, you'll build nothing. So here's what you need to do. Audit your environment ruthlessly. What apps are stealing your focus? Delete them. What content makes you feel worse about yourself? Unfollow it. What people drain your energy? Limit your time with them. Create boundaries around your attention. Turn off notifications. Set specific times to check messages. Protect your deep work time like your life depends on it. Because it does. And here's what will happen when you do this. Your mind will become clearer. Your work will become better. Your peace will return. Because focus isn't just about productivity. It's about presence. It's about actually living your life instead of just reacting to everyone else's. The world will always try to grab your attention. There will always be something urgent, something interesting, something dramatic happening. But a Stoic doesn't chase everything. A Stoic chooses deliberately. And that deliberate focus, sustained over time, that's what builds empires, both external and internal. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Your need for approval. Most people won't admit this, but they're constantly performing for an invisible audience, checking how many likes they got, wondering what people think of them, modifying their behavior to fit in, shrinking themselves to avoid judgment. And all of this All of this is quietly killing who they could become. Marcus Aurelius observed something brilliant. He said we love ourselves more than other people, but somehow we care more about their opinions than our own. Let that irony sink in. You say you want to grow. You say you want to become strong and independent, but then you hesitate. You second-guess yourself. You wait for permission that will never come. Why? Because you're afraid of what other people will think. But here's the reality the Stoics force us to face. The world doesn't owe you approval, and you don't need it anyway. You cannot fix your life if you're constantly waiting for people to validate your every move. In fact, here's something nobody tells you. The more you improve, the more resistance you'll face. Not from enemies, but often from people closest to you. Why? Because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Your discipline highlights their lack of it. Your confidence threatens their need to keep you small and predictable. So what do? They mock you. They doubt you. They try to pull you back to the version of yourself they understand. But a Stoic does not live for applause. A Stoic lives according to truth, according to virtue, according to personal standards that have nothing to do with popularity. Epictetus taught that if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's not pessimism. That's freedom. Because the moment you stop needing external validation, you become unstoppable. You no longer wait for permission. You act. You no longer explain yourself. You evolve. You no longer shrink to fit in. You grow and let others adjust. And here's what's beautiful about this. When you finally release your need for approval, when you finally stop performing for others, that's when you become truly interesting. That's when you develop real character. Because you're no longer a mirror reflecting what others want to see. You're a force moving in your own direction. And people respect that, even if they don't understand it. So stop waiting for applause. Stop apologizing for your growth. Stop explaining your choices to people who aren't living your life. You don't need their permission. You just need your own commitment. Now here's a skill that will immediately elevate your life. Silence. We live in a world where everyone wants to be heard. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone wants to explain themselves. But the Stoics understood that silence is power. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you've mastered when to say it. Epictetus taught that silence should be your general rule. Or say only what is necessary and in few words. Why is this so powerful? Because the more you speak, the more you reveal your fears, your insecurities, your plans, your weaknesses. But when you're silent, when you're comfortable not explaining yourself, people can't read you. And what people can't read, they respect. Think about the people you admire most. Are they constantly talking, justifying, defending themselves? Or do they move with quiet confidence, letting their actions speak? Silence also protects your energy. How much time have you wasted in pointless arguments? How much energy have you tried to prove yourself to people who don't matter? How many times have you over-explained your choices, only to realize nobody really cared anyway? Every word you speak is energy leaving your body. Choose carefully what deserves that energy. But silence isn't passivity. Silence is strategic. It means saying less but meaning more. It means letting your work speak instead of your mouth. It means being so focused on becoming powerful that you don't have time to talk about it, while others are busy performing, announcing their goals, seeking validation. You're in the dark working, building, growing. And when you finally emerge, your results speak so loudly, words become unnecessary. So practice this. Get comfortable not responding immediately. Not every message needs an instant reply. Not every insult deserves a comeback. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. Let time do the work. Let your silence create mystery. Let your actions build your reputation. Because the loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. The most powerful person is usually the one watching, learning, and waiting for the right moment to move. Let's shift to something critical. Owning your mistakes. Most people live in denial. They blame others. They make excuses. They rewrite their history to make themselves feel better. But Stoicism demands brutal honesty, especially with yourself. Seneca said that a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Your mistakes, your failures, your regrets, they're not punishments. They're the friction that polishes you. Did you waste years in a toxic relationship? Own it. Did you let fear stop you from pursuing your dreams? Own it. Did you betray your own values? Own it. Not with shame, not with endless guilt, but with courage, because shame keeps you stuck in the past. Ownership launches you into the future. See, most people can't fix their lives because they won't face their truth. They keep lying to themselves, creating stories that make them the victim, avoiding responsibility because it's painful. But here's what happens when you own everything. When you stop making excuses and start taking full responsibility, you become powerful. Because if you're responsible for where you are, then you're also responsible for where you go next. And that's freedom. That's control. When you blame others, you give them power over your future. When you own everything, you take that power back. So stop hiding from your past. Stop pretending you didn't make those mistakes. Face them directly. Learn from them. Extract every lesson. Then move forward as someone who's been tested and came out stronger. Your scars are not shameful. They're proof you survived. They're evidence you fought. They're the foundation of your wisdom. Own them, and watch how quickly your life transforms when you finally stop running from your own truth. Here's something else you need to hear. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid discomfort. They distract themselves. They numb themselves. They run the moment things get difficult. But the Stoics did the opposite. They leaned into discomfort. They welcomed hardship. Why? Because they understood that growth only happens at the edge of your comfort zone. Epictetus taught his students to welcome events, whichever way they happen, not to hope things go your way, but to accept and learn from whatever arrives. This isn't passive acceptance. This is active engagement with reality. When something uncomfortable happens, instead of running, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What strength is this trying to build? How can I use this to become better? Every heartbreak is teaching you about boundaries. Every failure is teaching you about resilience. Every rejection is teaching you that your worth isn't determined by others. Every delay is teaching you patience. Every struggle is building character you'll need for the next level. But you only get these lessons if you stop running, if you sit with the discomfort, if you let it shape you instead of break you. Marcus Aurelius faced unimaginable challenges: plague, war, betrayal, the weight of an empire. And still he wrote, if it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. That's not cold. That's clarity. Because complaining doesn't change what happened. It just keeps you trapped in victimhood. Enduring, learning, growing, that's what transforms suffering into strength. So the next time life gets hard, and it will, don't panic, don't collapse, don't run. Face it, ask what it's teaching. Thank it for the lesson. Then use it to become someone who can handle even more. Because that's how you build an unbreakable life. Not by avoiding difficulty, but by learning to dance with it. Finally, let's talk about the one thing that separates those who transform from those who just talk about it. Discipline, not motivation, not inspiration. Discipline, because motivation is emotional. It's a feeling, and feelings change with the weather. But discipline is a decision you make regardless of how you feel. And it's the only thing that creates lasting change. Epictetus said that no man is free who is not master of himself. Think about that. You might not have a boss. You might not be in prison. But if you can't control your impulses, if you can't make yourself do what needs to be done, you're not free. You're enslaved to your moods, to your comfort, to your weakest impulses. The Stoics trained themselves to ignore emotions when emotions were useless. They built routines. They established values. They committed to daily practices, not based on how they felt, but based on who they wanted to become. Marcus Aurelius still showed up as emperor when he was exhausted, when he was grieving, when he didn't feel like it. Why? Because duty was greater than feelings. Because discipline was more important than comfort. And that's the path you must walk if you want real transformation. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for inspiration to strike. Just do the work every single day, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when nobody's watching. Wake up at the same time. Move your body. Control what you consume. Learn something new. Reflect on your day. These aren't glamorous. They're not exciting, but they work, and they build something motivation can never touch. They build identity. They build character. They build self-respect. Because every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of more. You're building evidence that you're not controlled by your emotions. You're demonstrating that you're someone who keeps their word, especially the word you gave to yourself. This is what transforms lives. Not big dramatic moments, but small consistent actions repeated over time. This is how you fix your mind. This is how you fix your life. Not through inspiration, through daily discipline, through showing up, through doing the work, even when every part of you wants to quit. And here's what's incredible. Once discipline becomes your foundation, you stop needing motivation because you become the kind of person who moves forward regardless. That's freedom. That's power. That's mastery. So here we are. You've heard the brutal truths, the Stoic principles that have transformed lives for over 2,000 years. You know that you must stop negotiating with weakness. Control your reactions. Do hard things even when you don't want to. Protect your focus. Release your need for approval. Master silence. Own your mistakes. Embrace discomfort. And above all, build discipline that transcends motivation. But knowing changes nothing. Only doing transforms everything. So the question is, what will you do with this? Will you let it be another video you consumed and forgot? Or will you let it be the moment everything changed? The Stoics didn't just think about philosophy. They lived it every day, every decision, every challenge. They use it as training. And that's what you must do. Choose one principle. Apply it today, then tomorrow, then the next day. Let it become part of who you are. Fix your mind one day at a time, one choice at a time, one moment at a time. Because that's how real transformation happens. Not in giant leaps, but in small daily victories that compound into an unstoppable life. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need more time. You don't need anyone's permission. You just need to decide, right now, in this moment, that you're done being controlled by your emotions, done being a victim, done living below your potential. The Stoics left you the blueprint. Now it's your responsibility to build the life. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. The choice has always been yours.